Hello everyone, today I thought I would do a video testing Primark makeup because I recently headed into Primark and I picked myself up some of their makeup because I've seen so many people testing out Primark makeup and I really wanted to try it for myself. So if you want to see how I created this look, then just carry on watching. So I'm going to start with foundation and I'm going to be using the PS Liquid Foundation Semi Matte Finish, and this is in the shade Porcelain. I didn't really check the shades too much because it was kind of hard to work it out just from the bit here, so it looks like it should roughly match, but I don't really know. I'm just going to blend this in using a beauty blender. It also smells like sun cream as well, which I mean some people might not like, but I think it's quite nice. So far I actually quite like it. It's quite a nice texture and it does take a bit of blending, and it's not like super high coverage, but it did say medium coverage, so it's actually pretty good, and it was only like £2.50 I think. Yeah, £2.50, so you can't really go wrong with this if you wanted a new foundation and you didn't want to spend loads of money on one. I wasn't actually able to pick up one of the concealers in store because the Primark near me is like a really small one, so they didn't actually have like all of the like range out there, so I'm just going to use my collection Lasting Perfection concealer instead. Next I'm going to do bronzer, and for this I'm going to use the PS Bronze palette, and this was £3, and in it you get 2 actual bronzing shades and then some eyeshadows in the middle. And I picked this up because again the Primark that I went to wasn't fully stocked, so they didn't have all the eyeshadow palettes, so I thought if I picked this up then I could use the eyeshadows in this as well. So I think for bronzer I'm just going to use the matte bronzer, which is, if it focuses, this one, just the matte shade, because the other one looks really shimmery and that's not really something that I'd use. So it is quite orange toned, but I mean it is classed as a bronzer, not like a contour product, so if it's just for warming up your face I can see that this would be alright, especially if you're not as pale as me. I feel like this would look a lot better probably on your skin. But actually when it's blended out it does look okay. The only thing I would say is these bronzers seem to be very like powdery, like whenever I put my brush in it's all bitty everywhere, but I have to say though it is really well pigmented considering like how cheap this stuff is. It is really well pigmented and it does blend quite easily as well, which is good. So overall I mean that's an okay-ish bronzer. It kind of looks a bit too strong I think on my face, but it's alright. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to buy it again, but it is okay. Moving on to blush and highlight, I bought this PS Strobe Shimmer Block, and I wasn't really sure whether this was a blush or a highlight, so I think I'm just going to use it as both. And this was £2.50, and you just have like a selection of 5 different colours, so I'm going to try and do blush and highlight with this. I don't know how well this is picking up on camera, but for the blush it is actually really nice. It's not as pigmented as the bronzer, so it does look a lot more natural, and I quite like that about it. So for a natural blush this is a pretty good product, and you know it is only £2.50. Now I'm going to try and do some highlighting with the basically probably just the top white shade and this kind of champagne colour near the bottom. It's giving me a little bit of a glow, which is good. I don't really know how well it's showing up on camera, but you know it's made quite a subtle highlight. So basically what I've learned so far is if you want subtle makeup this is probably an alright brand for you, but if you like the really bold colours then you probably need to invest in something a bit higher quality. But overall, just for an everyday look, so far I'm pretty impressed with everything that I've tried. So now that I've finished doing my base I'm just going to set it all with powder. So I've got the PS Face Powder in the shade Light, and this was £2, and it says it's mineral based as well, which is good. So in here you get a mirror, a little sponge thing which I will not use, and the powder underneath. I mean overall I can't really bash this powder because I think it's done okay, but you can't really tell whether it's set your makeup until you've left it for a few hours. But it does leave your face feeling kind of weird and like chalky, which is a bit odd, but I'll deal with that. So now I'm going to move on to eyeshadow, and I'm going to be using my bronze palette again because In here we got 4 eyeshadow shades, so I'm going to try and create some kind of eyeshadow look with it. Okay, so first I think I'm going to take just this white one here and I'm going to use that as a base, and then I think I will just use the gold and then that in the outer corner and then the brown in the crease. But I'm not really that good at eyeshadow anyway, but hopefully it turns out alright. This white isn't too highly pigmented, but to be honest I wasn't really expecting amazing things with it. And these are quite chalky like the bronzer was, but yeah. Yeah, so far I'd say these aren't really that well pigmented compared to the other products I've tried, so this is probably the least pigmented thing that I've tried, because even this gold shade isn't really showing up that well unless I put like quite a lot of layers of it on. The copper colour is really nice though, and that one is quite well pigmented, but like the paler colours like the gold and the white really don't show up too well. They also don't blend amazingly well because they're really chalky, so it all just feels like it's kind of coming off when I blend it in. But it's okay, I guess. The darker shades were okay pigmented, but the paler ones didn't really show up at all. But I would say this is probably the least impressive thing that I've tried so far. I probably wouldn't use the eyeshadows again. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving on to liquid liner. So I've got the PS liquid liner in black, and this was £1. First impression so far, this is actually really well pigmented and it does apply really well, so I'm actually really impressed with this so far. The only thing I would say is the brush is kind of a bit too hard, like it doesn't really move because it's like a weird hard plastic, so it did make it really hard to apply the eyeliner well. As you could see when I was applying it, it was like really bad and patchy. Finally for eyes we've got mascara, so I'm going to be using the volumizing mascara, and this was £1 as well. This mascara definitely isn't something for me because I don't really feel like it's done anything to my lashes. It hasn't really made them much longer or any more volumized, and I quite like having really big eyelashes, so this isn't really something for me. But I guess if you like more subtle looks then maybe this would work for you, but I really probably wouldn't recommend this mascara to anyone. So for my lips I got the Velvet Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Mushroom, and this was £2, and it's just a little like pencil lip thing. I didn't really like applying this because it felt like I was just using like a wax crayon on my lips, but the overall effect of it is really nice and it does look really matte, but it doesn't feel it on my lips. It's not like really dry or anything. And the colour is really nice as well, so I'm actually really like this product. So this is the completed look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Also let me know if you've tried any Primark makeup before, because I feel like some of the products were actually really good, but I feel like there's quite a lot of like negativity around kind of clothing stores doing makeup, but I actually think some of this stuff is just as good as the drugstore stuff, if not better, especially like the lip products, the foundation and the powder. They were probably the best 3, and the bronzer was alright as well, but it still does look a bit too bold for me. But yeah, I think it's pretty good overall, so I really hope you guys enjoy this video and I will see you very soon.